Well, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing well. Great to see you all. And so today, let's get into our question. Here we have my little thing here. All right, it's about manifesting and creating your life. Okay, very simple question. Hey, Mark, how do we manifest when we're in a state of desperation or need? Okay, so all right, here's the golden rule, guys. When it comes to creating, attracting whatever it is you want in your life, okay, there's just certain rules that this universe works on and works by, and one of them is you will manifest in a state of need or desperation, but you will not manifest what you want in a state or need of desperation. You'll just manifest more need and desperation events, circumstances to prove to your emotions what you've been feeling and your mind what you've been thinking. So to manifest in a state of need or desperation, you have to get out of that state. Okay? So the question really is then is not, can I manifest in a state or need of desperation? You know that you can manifest in that state, but you're going to manifest more of that. So the question is, okay, how can I get out of that state of need or desperation to manifest what it is that I want or what I choose, right? That is a real question. So that's what we'll cover today. How to get out of the need of desperation to manifest. So the first clue to you is to remember that if you are in a state of need or you're desperate for something, the bell have to go on into your head to say, ding, 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 ding. I am not going to manifest what I want in this state. I'm going to manifest what I don't want. So that should prompt you now to start to figure ways, how can I get out of this state of need or desperation? Because if I'm continually in this state, I'm only going to attract what more need and desperation. Okay, follow me on that one. All right, so now how do we shift from it? So it's all about state of beings, right? So I talk a lot about it. I always say to you guys, I say, look, all the techniques we do when it comes to manifesting and all that stuff, it's a part of the process, but the real secret is it's not about the techniques we do, it's the constant state of being that we're in. The state of being we're in will determine if those techniques work. Techniques are not going to work if you're not in a particular state. So what is a state of being? A state of being is basically your dominant state of feeling, your dominant state of thought patterns, your dominant state of beliefs. That's what's called a state of being. Okay, I did not understand last time. Electromagnetic being says, I did not understand last time, but can you reiterate? You're not the voice in your head. Can you reiterate, right? You're not the voice in your head. Okay. What I mean by you're not the voice in your head is you can hear the voice in your head. So if you can hear the voice in your head, you have to be a third person observing the voice in your head. So you cannot, if you're observing something, you cannot be the thing you're observing. Hence, you cannot be the voice in your head. The only way you can be the voice in your head is if you're not observing the voice in your head, if you're just the voice in your head and there's no outer awareness or nothing else to say that there's a voice in my head. It's just a voice in your head. Does that make clear sense now? So once you can observe something, you cannot be the thing you're observing. You're watching something. If you're sitting out and you're watching like a soccer match or basketball, so whatever, you're watching something, or you're sitting down and watching your kids play. Okay, what are you doing? You're observing the kids play. You're observing the match. You are not the kids playing. You're not the match. You're the watcher of it. So when you have the voice in your head, if you can observe the voice in your head, it's impossible for you to be the voice in your head. Okay, that's correct. You're just observing the voice in the head. Well, if you're observing something, you cannot be the thing that you're observing. It's common sense, right? It's literally impossible to do that. All right, now back to the desperation or state of being. So this state of being will determine whether you're in the desperate state or you're in the allowance state. So here's how it works in the universe. So there are two states that exist constantly all the time. There's a state of what we call allowance. So there's addition and there's subtraction in the universe. You know, addition and subtraction. So there's a state of abundance and there's a state of lack. They exist one and the same. Now you have to remember that the universe doesn't choose sides. It's non-judgmental. It's just a field that's projecting our state of beings. So lack and abundance is all the same to the universe. It's up to you to figure out which one you want to be on. If you're in lack, the universe is going to give you an abundance of lack. It doesn't care. If you're in abundance, the universe is going to give you an abundance of abundance. It doesn't care. Make sense? All right. So whenever you're in a state of lack, that's the state we call desperation or need. That's the state where you don't get what you want. So far, so good? Okay. Now, yes, same but different frequencies. Now, where you want to move yourself to is you want to get somewhere either on abundance or you want to get right in the middle. It's called neutrality. When you're in the middle, you're free. You can jump on abundance more than you can jump on lack. So most people, it's going to be difficult for them to jump into abundance right away because it takes belief, it takes a lot of repetition, and they got to convince their mind that they are worthy and they are deserving of it. However, for the majority of us, it's easier for us to get into a state of neutrality or peace. That's where you want to be when you're manifesting stuff. You want to be in a state where I call it is what it is. There's no reaction to anything. It just is what it is. Oh, why did this happen? I don't know. It is what it is. I can't fix it. I can't control it. If you can control it, you change it. If you can't control it, you change the way you view the thing you can't control. So once you're in a neutrality state, this is where manifestation now takes place for you. So if you're someone in a state of need or desperation, you have bills or whatever it is piling up on your life, it's easy for your mind to give you the negativity. But you have to remember, again, the voice in your head, the mind, is not you. You're observing it. So the fact that you have to realize that you're a third person watching something, you should be able to now become more peace and know that, wait, this isn't me. This cannot be me because I'm the person hearing this. I can't. If it's me, I couldn't hear it. I'll just be in it. So once you do this, this is where you will shift. And then you must start to think about what it would look like or feel like for you to be out of a state of lack or desperation. In other words, think only on the things you would want or desire that will change the state of lack. If you're in need of money, something else, like what would it look like to have more money? What would it look like to have this paid or that paid? Those will start to tune your frequency, and you will start to move out of the desperation and the lack. Okay? See how that works? So, when you're in a state of desperation or need, just be cautious that that's the time you want to really change your attention and your focus. Because if you're in a state of need or desperation and you're trying to manifest the opposite of that, it's going to be difficult because your dominant state and your feelings are a state of being is in a state of need or desperation. So no matter how hard you try to manifest positivity, you're not going to get positivity because your state of being has not changed. The techniques you're doing they're not going to work because your state, well, they work, but they're working the opposite. They're not going to work the way you want them to work because your state of being has not shifted to where the conditions are right for them to work for you. That's correct. Electromagnetic. You are always manifesting, positive or negative. Manifestation does not take time off. From the day you were conceived, your brain has popped out the womb, you are manifesting. So it's not manifest is not something that you can just turn off and say, okay, I'll stop. So that's why, remember, I always talk to you. I said, listen, it's always important for you to be conscious of how you think and how you feel, because you're constantly manifesting that. It's 24/7, 365 days. Okay? So, yes, manifestation is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the one responsible for doing all of this stuff. It doesn't take time off. It's constantly eavesdropping on your conversation in your head and how you feel outside if you talk to people. It eavesdrops on everything you think, say, and do. And not only eavesdrop on it, it makes it a reality because it knows no other way. So the secret is aware. Now, here's the next thing. Listen. It's going to be, I'm not telling you to sit every day and get in your head, and it's impossible for us to consciously every day monitor our thoughts. Cannot do that. There's so much stuff going on in your life. You got multitask, you got work, so your head, you can't do that. However, there's something you can do 24/7. I mean, once you're awake and alert, you can. This is something you can do, and it doesn't take a lot of thinking or thought. Everyone can do that. Here's. Can you guess what it is you can do? It's not about your thoughts, because you can't monitor your thoughts every day, man. There's just too much stuff going on in our heads, man. We have thousands of thoughts per day, 18,000 to be specific in a conscious mind. But there is something that we can do that will tell us what our thoughts are. Being present is part of it, but it's not being present, it's not affirmations. The answer is how you feel. Anyone can check in on how they feel at any time. How you feel determines what you were thinking and what you are thinking. So while it's hard for us every day to figure out our thoughts, it's easy for us because we can, even if we're multitasking, we know how we feel in that moment. So we can go in and check our feeling and say, oh man, wait a minute, I just feel off today. Let me go up and check what my thinking was. Oh man, I've been thinking about that stuff. No wonder I feel so off. Let me change that. So how you feel basically means, doesn't mean now you have to jump and be this super happy Mr. or Mrs. Go Lucky happy. That's not what state of feel means. State of feel means you want to get to that, what we call that sweet spot, that neutrality spot, that spot where it feels natural, peace, the flow state, right? It is what it is. There's no emotional attachment to anything. You're just observing it. It's not good or bad. It's cool. It's peace for you. That's the state you want to be in daily. Fine, if you can get happy, that's part of it. That's good. Joy, fine, but don't force yourself. The best state is when you're in a state of peace and neutrality. That will create the happiness. Things is an internal thing. First of all, there's nothing outside that can make you happy. That's an illusion. Money doesn't make you happy. All of that stuff, the success, all that doesn't make you happy. It's an illusion. Happiness comes from within you first. You first become happy in yourself, because it's a normal thing. Just be happy just to be happy, and then other things will follow. But don't look for something to get it to make you happy, because you're going to get into a toxic situation where you're always going to be reaching for more and more, and it's going to cause you to be desperate down the end. So the happiness is an internal thing. You can choose that. What I'm talking about now is the state of just being peace and neutral. That's something that everyone can attain. So one of the easiest ways for you to get into the state of neutrality is what they call gratitude. To be grateful for what you want or desire as already having it. That's what they call the gratitude. Just be grateful for something or anything that will shift your frequency into that state. And then you move from the desperation, now you move into the abundance flow. Now here's where the magic happens. So once you're manifesting now and you figure out, okay, I got to get out of desperation, because I'm more desperate if I act like I need this or that, I'm going to get more of the need. So let me switch myself up now. Let me do some things that can help me. Okay, let me just change my thought a little bit, make things that feels good. Okay, let me watch something that will motivate me, inspire me. Okay, what else can I do? Let me change my feeling. Let me do something. Let me go out in nature. I just got to do something that will get me out of this state. Let me get my mind right. That's all you need to do. Okay, well, oh man, okay, the voice in my head, okay, it's not me, so I'm not going to panic anymore, because I know it's not me, so let me move on to this state. So now once you get into that new state, the state of abundance, now here's where the magic happens. Now, whatever you're thinking in that state now, they start to come towards you. Remember what I said, we live in a subtraction, attraction type of stuff, right? The main universe is attraction-based universe. We're constantly attracting what we want. But I'm just using subtraction to make you see what you don't want. So that's why I call it subtraction, attraction. So now when you're in attraction phase, the things now that you were thinking about, they start to rush towards you now. And this is where your subconscious mind now can take that stuff, right? And then what it does, it organizes the right timing for you to receive it. It even can use people and things of that nature to bring it in to you. Yeah, you can be grateful for anything. You have working limbs, eyes, I'm breathing, you can find any gratitude in everything you do. Okay, that's the state of how you get out of need or desperation. So when I say, okay, how can you communicate? How often do you communicate with your higher self? Okay, you constantly communicate with your higher self 24/7, 365. It never stops communicating with you. The thing is, there's an ego inside of you, the voice in the head, right? That can shut out or muffle the communication process, because we're remember now, we are logical beings, right? We are taught to be logic. So every day we get up, we're always in our head, our conscious mind. We're in the world of logic and analytical stuff. So we're logicalizing, we're analyzing, we're judging. Okay, that's the matrix we exist in. So our minds spend a lot of time on that, which takes us away from checking in on our higher self. So your higher self never stops communicating with you. So if you want to take your game to the next level, to manifest, to be your best version of yourself, you have to get out of the logic and the analytical game and start going into the creative, the unconscious, the feeling, the intuition, the allowing, the flowing game. That's where your higher self now will start to come in and talk to you. It talks to you all the time. So once you can balance that out, once you can get into a state where you're not predominantly into the mind, the conscious mind, then you will start to experience the best version of your life. That's right, you will experience the best version, because you're dealing with the true essence of who you are. You're dealing with a higher conscious being that's making this movie here. You're dealing with the writer, the director, the one that organized. You're dealing with you, the higher version of you. So imagine if you can connect and listen every day to that higher version of you, you can manipulate, change, alter the matrix to work in your favor. Because that higher version of you knows where all the answers, all the secrets, all the opportunities, all the avenues to get whatever you want. It makes the impossible possible in whatever situation you're in. Everyone have that right now. There's no one that's not connected to their higher self. The problem is we have been taught, teached, and conditioned to not focus on that creative mind. And that's through our schooling and everything. You see how that works? So if you want to get in touch with your higher self more often, the number one way to do that is to have communication with yourself out loud in questions. Talk to yourself, ask yourself questions of the things you would like to achieve, and then listen and let it go. And then you'll get information, what we call downloads. You get intuition, and even your own mind will be used as a vessel to relay information to you. Even your own ego will be helping. It will use your own ego to funnel information to you, to tell you to do something. And you'll know it's from your higher self, because your ego's voice will change a little bit. The ego won't be so dominant or so loud. The ego will start to sound like a knowing voice, not a full knowing, but it'll sound a lot calmer, and then you'll know, okay, this is my higher self talking through my ego to kind of funnel information into me. All right, so that's how you have it, and that's what you got to do to get out of the state of desperation or need. And I'll see you guys again next time.